The Weimar Republic. The Weimar Republic was the first time Germany had ever been governed as a democracy. It was designed to give the German people a voice. However, there were major flaws in its constitution that made it weak. The Weimar Republic was formed. The Council of People's Representatives organised elections in January 1919 to create a new parliament. Germany was now a democracy. The people would have a say in how the country was run. Friedrich Ebert became the first president, with Philipp Scheidemann as Chancellor. Ebert was a leader of the SPD, the Social Democratic Party, a moderate party of socialists. In February 1919, the members of the new Reichstag Parliament met at Weimar to create a new constitution for Germany. Historians call this period of Germany's history the Weimar Republic. The constitution decided how the government would be organised and established its main principles. The Weimar Constitution made Germany more democratic. The new constitution reorganised Germany's system of government. At the head of this was the president. The president was elected every 7 years. The president chooses the chancellor and its head of the army. The president can dissolve the Reichstag, call new elections, and suspend the constitution. The president was elected by the German people, and so were the parties in the Reichstag. The president had the most power, but the chancellor was in charge of the day-to-day running of the government. Underneath the president was the chancellor. The chancellor's job was to run the day-to-day business of the government. The chancellor was picked by the president. Underneath the chancellor, you have the Reichstag. The Reichstag was the new German parliament. Members were elected every 4 years using proportional representation. Proportional representation is where the proportion of seats a party wins is based roughly on the proportion of votes that they get. You then had the Reichsrat, which is the second, less powerful House of Parliament. It consists of members from each local region. They can delay measures passed by the Reichstag, so like a second port of call. The new constitution was designed to be as fair as possible. Even very small political parties were given seats in the Reichstag if they got 0.4% of the vote or above. The constitution allowed women to vote for the first time and lowered the voting age to 20. More Germans could vote, and that meant more of the German public had greater power. However, the constitution had its weaknesses. Even though the new constitution was more democratic, it didn't prove to be very efficient. Proportional representation meant that even parties with a very small number of votes were guaranteed to get into the Reichstag, and this made it difficult to make decisions because there were so many different political parties and they all had very different points of view. When a decision couldn't be reached, the president could suspend the constitution and pass laws without the Reichstag's consent. The president's ability to force through his own decisions was known as Article 48. This power was only supposed to be used in an emergency, but it became a useful way of getting round disagreements that took place in the Reichstag due to all the political parties, and this meant that it undermined the new democracy.